Hello my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of tea or coffee with snacks if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who tried to steal OP's phone because her daughter couldn't get a drink. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you'll enjoy it. It happened more than once at the water park resort I worked at for a year or so. Let me preface this story by mentioning I'd been working with kids for over 10 years at this point, both in daycare and in the entertainment sector. Also, this is a repost, as when I first attempted to share I hadn't met the posting requirements. Backstory: the local water park resort I worked at was geared toward families, so we had an area where kids and their parents could come and do crafts together. It had little tables with crayons and free coloring pages and books to read. We also offered several paid activities such as ceramics to paint and t-shirts to dye. Let's call it the kids club. I was told by several coworkers upon being hired that parents were fond of trying to drop their children off in the kids club only to wander off and abandon them. This resulted in one of the employees on duty, there were usually two of us, having to chase the parent down to inform them they had to stay with their kids. Children over the age of 13 were allowed to come in on their own, but only an adult could supervise younger children. This will be relevant later. I was on my game from day one and families loved me. Even when I had to deal with EPs, I could be so frustratingly sweet and firm that they'd eventually relent. I'm a pretty tall guy, so I assume most parents simply felt they couldn't push me around. This one family came in. A mother, EM, and her probably 5-year-old son, a nice kid. NK. She crouches down and tells him to have fun before making her way to the door. "Excuse me ma'am, you can't leave your son here. You've got to stay with him. He's just coloring. He won't be a hassle and I'll be downstairs at the bar if you need me." And we're delighted to have him, but per company policy, we can't allow children under 13 to be in here by themselves. I apologize. Fine. The mother takes her son and leaves. I think that's the end of it. But then the kid returns, this time with his sister, S, who looks about 13 or 14 and isn't entirely happy about the situation. She had a wand in her hand, which was used to play the magic-themed game we had all around the resort. I figured her mother must have pulled her away from her game to make her watch her brother. The nice kid excitedly returns to the table where he'd been coloring. I look to the sister. "Is your mother with you?" "No, she's not. She said I could be in here with him by myself." I'm afraid she misinterpreted. "You can be in here without supervision, but if your brother wants to play in here, your mom has to be with him." "I'll go tell her then." "Come on NK." The kid looked pretty sad to be pulled away from his art again. So I went over and grabbed some crayons for him. I held them out with a smile. "Here you go buddy. Just bring these back when you're done with them and only use them on the paper, okay?" "Thank you." Once more I assume things are done. Even if the kid didn't bring back the crayons, it was fine. They were just crayons and I had made a kid happy. Oh. How wrong I was. The next day I'm working the morning shift I had worked in the afternoon the day before. Em comes in with her son, she balks at seeing me sitting in the room, sorting out crayons. "What are you doing here?" Me, putting on my best service smile. "I work here ma'am." "Are you going to color with your son today? Or would you like to do some of our paid activities? Why can't I just leave him here? You've got nothing better to do, you're just messing with the crayons." She smiles, convinced she's bested me. Even if it is company policy, she's right. The kids club was pretty dead as it was a slow weekday. She hadn't counted on me being experienced with the daycare system. "Ma'am, I cannot do that. Not only is it company policy, but this kids club is not in any way certified as a daycare. We don't have emergency contact information, we are not trained in CPR, which is regulatory for daycare workers. Nor are we equipped to be qualified as a daycare. This room has one single exit, a clear violation of building code for any basic childcare facility. I'm the only one on duty, and while I do have various certifications and a degree, I was hired to be an entertainer, not a daycare worker. If you leave your son here I will call security because not only would it violate my contract, but you would be participating in willful neglect of your child. We have signs posted that all children must be accompanied by an adult, and I have now informed you of this no less than 2 times. Your son is absolutely welcome here, but you must stay with him." She was shocked. I don't know if it was due to the unsettling customer service tone I took with her, or the fact that I was obviously up to date on childcare regulations. Either way, she shut her trap, sat in one of our tiny chairs, and let her son color. Her son and I read stories together too, but I made sure she remained in the room. We weren't a daycare, and I'd be damned if I let her treat us like one. I found out later she tried to complain about me, but seeing as how we had video surveillance that showed her trying to leave her child more than once, the complaint was thrown out and not put on my record. If I were your boss, I'd have put her complaint on the record, but also have an explanation on how you handled the situation amazingly and how you were in the right. Backstory: basically, it's really simple. An Asian ice cream store in my area serves boba tea, snow ice, and ice cream rolls. They also have a point system, which is pretty good, 75 points for a free boba tea and 115 for a free ice cream roll. My friend, F, goes to another school, that's why she doesn't know EK, NK, EK's twin sister, nor EM. EK and NK go to my art class, so they do know me. And I win a lot of awards at school, so EM definitely knows me, also from the open houses. She always complains that I'm always getting the awards and how it's not giving my daughters a chance. Needless to say, EM and EK hates my guts, but I'm actually friends with NK. F goes to the store a lot, and so do I, only her way more often as she practically lives next to this store. She's the type of person that saves up all her points and only uses it when she needs it, and me? I spend it the minute I have enough. The only reason I could tell EK and NK apart, they're identical, is the fact that EK's hair is longer than freaking Rapunzel's, while NK has her hair just a bit longer than the height of her shoulder. Cast. Me, of course, dummy. NK, nice kid, also EK's twin sister, like I mentioned above. EK, NK's twin sister, but I don't think you needed to know that. EM, do I really have to explain? CA, cashier. F, friend. Now finally, the story. Me and F come to the ice cream place because it was 100 degrees outside and we didn't feel like getting into the pool. I didn't feel like ice cream, so I chose boba. Now, there are many different flavors of boba. No offense ice cream store, but every single one of your boba teas screw, except for dirty boba, which is basically black and brown sugar with milk and black and brown sugar-coated boba. It's the most popular one in the store, and I was quite surprised they haven't run out yet. Half of the time I go there, it's usually sold out. Now here's the important part, they only had enough sugar left for 1 cup of dirty boba when I got there. I didn't care, that boba tea was the best in my town. My friend got the matcha snow ice, and while she insisted on paying for me, I refused. I went to my pockets then go crap. I quickly enter my phone number to see how many points I have. 70 points. I told F to pay on my phone number, so I got 10 points. That'd be 80. Then, I'd have enough for a free boba tea. Good. And right after my friend handed the cashier the cash, guess who entered? EK, NK, and EMNK and I were friends, but me and NK both hated EK. EK always acted like the world revolved around her, and EM spoiling her didn't help, either. NK, however, was a nice kid and refused to be spoiled. While I waited in line for my boba tea, EM, EK, and NK approached the cashier. "Hello ma'am, how may I help you today?" "Yes, my daughters would like," nudges EK and NK, "a dirty boba and an Oreo ice cream roll." "Sorry dear, we just ran out of dirty boba. This customer," gestures to me, "just purchased it with her in-store points." But she purchased it with the points. "I'm offering you real money here, take it and give the last dirty boba to my daughter." At that time, the boba was still in the making, or I'll leave a complaint on your website. Yay, she always gets everything. Let me have something for once. Sorry ma'am, but she ordered it first. Her points are the results of her purchases, so therefore, she technically still have purchased it by our store's rules. But I'm giving you real money, and she just purchased it with points. Sorry ma'am, our rules are rules. At that time, F got her matcha snow ice and noticed what was going on. F's really nice, but she can get spicy if you mess with her. "Excuse me ma'am, if you don't mind, your daughter can have my matcha snow ice. I'm sorry that you couldn't get the dirty boba. You, who'd even like matcha? That's disgusting. Yay, that flavor screw." I shot them a glare before signaling my friend to come back to the table and eat. Poor F, she just wanted to help. "Sorry about my mum," and my twin whispers to the cashier, probably the same thing she whispered to me and F. "And can I have a Nutella ice cream roll please?" Okay, and the total would be insert price, because I wasn't paying attention. Do you have a phone number for our points? Or would you like to register one? No, we're not like that snobby little brat, points to me, who doesn't give real money. Now I got angry. Firstly, I actually work hard to have all those achievements. It's not easy to get straight A's, you've actually got to study. EK doesn't even try on even the easiest tests. I try to keep my cool and take a deep breath before standing up. I don't like the way you called me a snobby little brat. It's very rude. Well, I'll say sorry if you give EK your boba tea. Now what the hell? Sorry, no. I bought it and therefore, it's mine. I won't be giving it to anybody anytime soon. Can't you just be generous for once? I'm sorry. You heard her right. You get everything, and what does EK and NK get? Nothing. Ma'am, please calm down. Yay, Mum, EK can just get the boba another time. I don't want it next time. I want it now. Look OP, you've just made EK upset. Well, not really my fault, it's just the fact that you guys should come earlier, as you can tell that the dirty boba is very popular. Yay, Mum, OP's right, I've told you guys to come earlier. Before NK could finish her sentence, guess what happened? Now, I pretended to be on my phone while actually listening to the whole fight. When I stood up to her, my phone was left on the table. EK grabs my phone and hands it to EM. What's your password? Give me back my phone. I asked what's your password? First of all, what you're doing is theft. I won't tell you my password no matter what. In fact, I'll call the cops on you. You won't do that. This is what you owe me. Actually, ma'am, she actually could since this is her property you're attempting to get her password in. Now, not all heroes wear capes. NK snatches my phone out of EM's hand and quickly puts it on the table, securing it with her hand. NK, why did you do that? You guys were trying to steal her phone. She gets everything. She owes me it, like mother told her. Ma'am, I'd like you to leave with your daughter right now. She, points to NK, could stay. But we've done nothing wrong. It's true, she gets everything. EK's always right. Get out. Now. With your EK, come on, NK, let's get out of here before OP and the CA could call the cops on you. No, Mum. I'd like to stay here for a few more minutes. EM, always spoiling her two daughters, sighed. I'll drive your sister back, call me when you want to come home. F and NK were furious at what EM and EK had done. I tried to calm them down, then remembered something. Hey, F, how many points do you have? I dunno, lem check real quick. She checks and she has 250 points, and a 200 points is have a flavor named after you. I gave NK and F a Lenny smile, and they know what's going on. NK, make sure you bring EM and EK here before 2 weeks, alright. The naming expires after 2 weeks. NK agreed. I named the match a flavor done. Karen repellent. I'm still waiting for NK's reply. Buy some for the EM and say you are being nice. Watch her explode as her soul is consumed by Karen repellent ice cream. This story happened a couple of months ago. My parents were out of town and I was house sitting for them. It was a lovely Saturday morning and the weather was perfect, so I decided to take the dog for a walk. The dog, let's name her Luna, was a rescued miniature poodle found by my uncle after the previous owner left her outside for long periods of time, even in harsh weather, with hopes that she would run off, but she never left. Soon, Luna was later passed on to my mom. I also should mention that it's clear that when we got Luna that she had abandonment issues. Despite this, Luna really bonded to my family, especially me, my sister, and my mom. I also should mention that Luna is very smart, well-manned, protective, and especially loyal. Me and my mom could let her off her leash and walk around the park, and Luna would always stay within 4 feet of us at all times and never would let us out of her sight. Luna is one of the best dogs our family has had the pleasure of owning. So on to the story, the cast. Me. The op, EM. The Karen, PO. Park officer. As I mentioned before, I was in a local park walking Luna. It was a beautiful morning outside, and the park wasn't very crowded yet. About 3/4 the way though our walk, I notice a park officer make his way towards us. He stopped right in front of us and got off his bike. Park officer, excuse me sir, is that your dog? Why yes it is sir, is everything okay? Well, I got a report of a guy walking a stolen poodle in the park, so I was just doing some investigation. Well, I can assure you this dog is definitely not stolen, watch this. I hand the officer the leash and slowly start to walk away. Luna started to whimper loudly as I get farther away and starts to pull at the leash towards me. Soon the officer lets go of the leash and Luna makes a beeline for me. The officer acknowledges that this is in fact my dog and gets back on his bike and tells me to have a good day. As we get to the parking lot to get in my car and go home, notice in the corner of my eye a minivan not too far away from my car opened the doors and out comes Em and her 12-year-old daughter, both are stomping towards me. I stop and turn to face both them. That's not your dog. And you know it. Ma'am, this is my family's dog, she's been in our family for years. Bullcrap, why else would a man be seen walking around a poodle? Because it's my dog, you crazy lady. During this exchange, the daughter of EM kneels down in front of Luna. Being as well-mannered as she is, Luna lets the daughter pet her. Give us the poodle, so we can find the real owners, or I'll report you to the police. Leave me alone, you crazy lady. Last chance, give us the poodle. At this point I've had enough, and decide to walk away. As I'm turning my back, the daughter unhooks Luna's leash from her harness, picks up the dog and starts to jog towards the minivan. This causes Luna to whimper loudly. I proceed to go after her, but EM blocks my way. I brush EM aside, which caused her to pull on my shirt in an attempt to stop me. As the daughter is getting closer to the minivan, I see the usually sweet Luna turn into an absolute demon. She starts to thrash about in the daughter's arms and then proceeds to try and bite the girl's face, barely missing by an inch. All this caused the daughter to scream and drop Luna, who proceeds to make a beeline for me. Em lets go of me and ran to her daughter to see if she's okay. At this point I decide to waste no time and open my car door and tell Luna up, which she jumps in and sits in the passenger seat. I hop in the driver's seat, immediately start the car and drive away. In the rearview mirror I see Em trying to chase after my car on foot, but she's way too slow to keep up. On the way home, I pet Luna on the head and tell her good girl. I told my mom about the incident and she thanked me for keeping her fur baby safe. That's a screwed up story. Sorry that happened to you. Let's just hope the daughter can see past the mom's crap and become a decent human being. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman who put on a crap show cause OP refused to play with her son, no matter OP had surgery. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.